Hey there, it's David. Today you're continuing your journey to be real with yourself, with God, and with others. I know that you're already good at avoiding hypocrisy. If not, stop this episode right now and go back to Don't Be a Hypocrite. So now I'm going to invite you to surrender your secrets and take off your masks. I'm going to invite you to be real with everyone. To be who you are, warts and all, right out in front of everyone. To be vulnerable. In other words, to take a huge risk, but a risk that will definitely pay off in spades. And for those of you who are already really good at being real, really good at surrendering your secrets and taking off your masks, you know what I mean. So, are you ready to?
I will stop you right there.
Let's go island hopping. Every secret will destroy relationships if left to fester for too long. For you can't pretend to be someone that you're not for your entire life. Yes, you can wear any mask that you feel you need to wear to keep your secrets for a little while. But eventually, your secrets and your masks will cause everything in your life to come crashing down around you. Eventually, your secrets will be exposed, or worse yet, your secrets will alienate you from everyone in your life. Because of the mask that your secrets will force you to wear, never being real with yourself, with God, and with others, out of the fear of your mask being ripped off and your secrets being exposed. For unsurrendered secrets require your total devotion. And devotion is defined as a profound dedication, especially to religion. And religion is the very reason why you're keeping your secrets and wearing your masks in the first place. You believe that if anyone ever knew your secrets, you wouldn't be seen as a good Christian. And your devotion to being seen as a good Christian is causing your devotion to your secrets. In turn, your devotion to your secrets is causing you to wear masks, to pretend to be someone that you're not, aka a hypocrite. Out of fear of losing your good Christian religious standing, out of fear of what other people will think of you if they really knew you. Thus, you're left all alone, just you, your secrets, and your masks. Because you can never have any real relationships, for being real means surrendering your secrets and taking off your masks. Being real is the total opposite of being religious. For there's really no such thing as a good Christian. That's just a societal construct to force-feed obedience to an institution, a sin-stained, fractured, and faulty attempt to earn salvation, a works theology that's based on merit and creates haves and have-nots. For us humans, we love haves and have-nots, especially when we're the haves. Even Jesus echoed this point when he had a conversation with a rich man who asked him what he needed to do to inherit eternal life. In other words, what he needed to do to be a good Christian. The man addressed Jesus as good teacher, to which Jesus responded, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone." And if Jesus can't be a good Christian, then you and I have no hope of ever being a good Christian. So why don't you allow your perspective to be transformed and find peace in being a real Christian? But sadly, many of us have stayed devoted to our secrets and continue to wear our masks so that we can stay devoted to our religious desires to be seen as good Christians. For into that which you place your devotion will become the center of your life. And if the center of your life is being seen as a good Christian, your devotion will be to keeping your secrets and wearing your masks. For the world has taught you, and sadly so has the church, that a good Christian has no skeletons in their closet and will never do anything that could even be perceived as being wrong. Sadly, this will mean that pretty soon your life will simply be you, your secrets, and your masks. No real relationships with anyone, not even God. The very relationship that supposedly serves as the foundation of the religious definition of a good Christian's life. This is exactly why it's so vital for you to understand that you're saved by grace through faith in Jesus. You're saved because of who you are, not because of what you do. You aren't saved because you've never done anything wrong. You aren't even saved because you really have been a good Christian. You're saved because of who you are, fractures, faults, foibles, and all, in Jesus. To illustrate this point, I want to tell you a story that happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's a story about a pastor, his wife, and a secret that they believed they needed to keep, which resulted in masks that they believed they needed to wear, and how God worked in a miraculous way once they made the decision to be real with themselves, with God, and with others, the decision to surrender their secrets and take off their masks. There once was a teenager who found herself pregnant. She didn't come from the greatest family, and she quickly found herself all alone and scared. So she decided to have an abortion, a traumatic decision for anyone to make and experience. Afterward, she made a deal with herself that she wouldn't ever let anything stand in her way. So she finished high school and went on to college, trying as she may to put that whole horrible chapter of her life behind her. In college, she met a young man who was head over heels in love with her, and she fell in love with him. She agonized over being real with him, but she knew that this might be the one, so one night she made herself vulnerable and told him her whole traumatic story. In the telling of her story, the claiming of who she is, and the process of being real, she found herself emboldened and empowered. She felt a sense of release and freedom as she was totally herself, right out in front of her new boyfriend. When she finally stopped talking, the realization of what had just happened sank in. In the midst of this positive experience of being real, she realized that she literally had no idea how this young man was going to respond. Would he see her differently? Would he still want to be her boyfriend? In the midst of all these questions, she realized for the first time in a very long time that she didn't care. She didn't do what she did for him or his approval. She did what she did for herself and her validation of who she is. She was being real for being real's sake, not for his sake or for anyone else's sake. As these thoughts were bouncing around in her brain, her boyfriend reached out and hugged her. They simply cried together as he repeated over and over again, "I'm so sorry." Not only did he not reject her, her vulnerability made him love her even more. Fast forward several years, and these two were no longer boyfriend and girlfriend. They were now husband and wife. They had jobs, a house, and children. And her used-to-be boyfriend, now husband, was a pastor. She was very active with the youth, and her husband worked day and night to grow the congregation. Church life was great until the day that it all changed. See, there was a lady in the congregation who was very active with a local abortion alternative ministry. It was her thing, and she was very interested in the church making it their thing in a very big way. Thus, she made an appointment to meet with the pastor. As he met with this passionate woman, he struggled in a way that he's never struggled. Could he be real with this woman and let her know that even though he supported her in her ministry, he wasn't the guy to lead this charge? For how could a pastor who totally supports his wife's decision to have an abortion be the spokesman for an abortion alternative ministry? But he thought, what if I'm real with this woman and she tries to destroy me? What if she stands against me and my wife? What if she starts telling the church that their pastor and wife are sinners? He started to fear that if the truth was known, the church would run him and his wife out of town on a rail. So, in an instant, he made the decision to keep their secret, and he put on a mask. The mask of supporting this woman's ministry at the church, without him ever really participating in this woman's ministry at the church. He gave her a platform. He spoke in support of the ministry, and he encouraged the church to participate in fundraising efforts. Yet, this pastor never physically showed up for any of it. He would announce a community walk on a Sunday morning, but he would never walk himself. He would invite people to buy a plate at a fundraising dinner, but he would never eat that very same meal. He always had a good excuse as to why he and his wife couldn't participate. As the years went on, this woman started to wonder why her pastor and his wife never participated in what she considered to be the most important ministry in the church. She started to doubt the pastor's excuses. She even wondered if this church was the right church for her. And the pastor was growing very weary of keeping his secret and wearing his mask. As all of this was happening, his wife was going through her very own process of healing. In fact, the very same abortion alternative ministry that the church had been supporting offered a process of healing for women struggling with the trauma of abortion. Through this ministry, his wife finally took off her mask and she surrendered her secret. It was then that she came to her husband and asked if she could share her testimony of healing with the congregation, which was a big risk, for neither of them truly knew how the congregation would respond. Would they be rejected? Would the church be able to join this couple in their process of healing? Or would they kick them to the curb as sinners beyond redemption? In spite of all this doubt and fear, they decided that she would do it. The date was set, and one fateful Sunday, this woman, this pastor's wife, stood before the congregation and shared her story. She was real with herself, with God, and with others. All her husband could do was sit, listen, and cry. In that moment, he wasn't the pastor of the church. He was this brave woman's proud husband. Tears of joy streamed down his face, for he watched in awe as this woman he loved more than anything stood before him and everyone, truly as herself. It wasn't until he caught the eye of the woman who had so passionately worked to lead this church in support of an abortion alternative ministry that his tears of joy turned into tears of relief. For she was also crying in support of his wife. In that moment, it was as if God whispered in his ear, "Everything is going to be all right." After her testimony, there was a standing ovation from the entire congregation. There wasn't a dry eye in the place. Not only did their fears of rejection not come true, the ministry thrived. Several women who needed the exact same healing approached her, and a new small group was formed. These women found a safe place in her because of her boldness to be real with herself, with God, and with others. Together they went through their very own process of healing, the process of surrendering their secrets and taking off their masks. And the pastor was finally able to surrender his secret and take off his mask. His relationship with the woman who had met with him years before was repaired. She totally understood and supported his choice to cheer for her favorite ministry from the sidelines. And he was freed up to minister with a compassion that he had been unable to show in the past. And all of this was possible because one woman was willing to risk it all and be real with herself, with God, and with others. Since we're being real, surrendering our secrets and taking off our masks, it's time to talk about our common enemy. Up to this point, island hopping has been all about you and your relationship with God through faith in Jesus. Yet it's time to introduce the villain in our story. For never forget that there can't be good without evil. There can't be day without night. And there can't be light without darkness. Our common enemy is Satan. Satan is a fallen angel, a created by God heavenly creature who exercised their own free will and no longer resides in heaven as a heavenly creature. At some point in the past, Satan decided that it would be good to be God. Yet, Satan didn't just think about it. Satan acted on it and led a heavenly coup. Satan wanted to be God, but the job was already taken. Thus, Satan was kicked out of heaven, banished to roam the earth wreaking havoc, with the goal of separating as many human beings as possible from the grace, love, compassion, and salvation of God. Before Jesus returns and rights the entire ship and Satan takes up permanent residence in hell, separated from God forever. Basically, Satan is trying to fill hell with human souls so that there will be someone to be God of in the end. Yet, it's important to understand that Satan and God aren't two sides of the same coin. Satan and God aren't equals in any way. It's not a fair fight, for Satan is an angel created by God. Being an angel means that Satan has limitations, like Satan can only be in one place at one time, just like you and me. Thus, chances are very good that Satan has never personally messed in your life. You might think that the devil made you do it, but chances are very good that you did it, and you're simply blaming Satan. That just might be one of the secrets that you need to surrender, blaming Satan for something that you caused to happen in your life. Why is it important that we get real about Satan? If it ain't a fair fight between God and Satan, why would we care? If God wins and Satan loses, why are we spending any time on it? Because being real about Satan and Satan's goal has everything to do with you and your life, both here on earth and also for eternity. This is the very reason why you're spending so much time on this island to surrender your secrets and take off your masks. For if Satan can't be everywhere, messing with everyone's lives, trying to separate everyone from the love of God, then Satan must use other tools in order to accomplish this goal. One of the arrows in Satan's quill is your secrets. If Satan can get you to keep your secrets and wear your masks, never being real with yourself, with God, and with others, then Satan can keep you from a close, intimate, personal relationship with God. And anyone without a close, personal, intimate relationship with God, separated from God, will end up in hell. And in hell, nobody has any choice but to worship and serve Satan, which is the very thing that Satan has always wanted, the very thing that caused Satan to be cast out of heaven in the first place. Get it? Surrendering your secrets and taking off your mask takes all the power away from Satan. And we've been giving Satan way too much power for way too long. It's time you surrendered your secrets and took off your masks. It's time that you took Satan's biggest weapon away. For without your secrets and your masks, you can have a close, personal, intimate relationship with God. The very relationship that Satan doesn't want you to have, but is powerless to do anything about. The name Satan literally means deceiver or liar. Thus, Satan's main goal is to separate you from God through lies and deception. When you devote yourself to keeping your secrets and wearing your masks, out of fear that nobody, including God, will love you when they truly know you, Satan wins. For you will have devoted your life not to God, but to the lies that you have to keep in order to protect your secrets and your masks. Secrets and masks are the stuff of Satan's dreams. Just think about it. If you devote your life to keeping your secrets and wearing your masks, Satan doesn't even need to lift a finger. For all intents and purposes, Satan can leave you alone, for your secrets and your masks will successfully accomplish Satan's goal of separating you from God. For your secrets and your masks will isolate you from others and from God. So don't let Satan win. Surrender your secrets and take off your masks. Is it risky to be real with yourself, with God, and with others? Yes. Will you possibly lose friends or lose your standing with some people when you're real? Yes. Will you make Satan happy if you keep your secrets and your masks? Yes. Will you lose the grace, love, and forgiveness of God if you surrender your secrets and take off your masks? Definitely no. So I guess you need to wrestle with these questions. Is it more important for me to keep my secrets and my masks? Or is it more important for me to be real with myself, with God, and with others? Only you can answer those questions. The truth is this: Satan is powerless to do anything in your life that you don't allow. Yet here's the catch. Here's your struggle. Satan is a master of spreading fear in the world. Satan will work tirelessly in the world to remind you on a regular basis that your family will disown you if they know your secrets, that you will lose your status in the community if anyone knows your secrets, that God will never love you if you surrender your secrets and take off your masks. These are Satan's lies and deceptions, and the fear that they produce in your life is very powerful and persuasive. Many a person has lived an incomplete life separated from the love of God simply because their fears prevented them from surrendering their secrets and taking off their masks. It's time that you embrace the freedom that is yours in Jesus. For there's nothing you can do that will ever separate you from the love, grace, and forgiveness of God. That is, unless you make the decision to continue to live under the power of your secrets. Not that God removes their love, grace, and forgiveness, but in the shadow of your secrets and masks, you simply can't experience God's love, grace, and forgiveness. Don't let this be you. Take the time to be real, to come face to face with your secrets and surrender them to God. Take off your masks and then find someone or a group of someones to which you can surrender your secrets and take off your masks. You've unnecessarily been carrying around this secret load for too long. You've unnecessarily been wearing too many masks for too long.
Hey there, it's Sherry. Island Hopping is a production of Journey to Be Ministries and is sponsored by Beneva Christian Church in Sarasota, Florida. You can find Beneva Christian on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the Beneva Christian app, as well as their website, benevachristian.com. If you'd like to contact David, my brother-in-law, just drop him an email at islandhoppingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can text him by clicking on the link in the show notes.